Things are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, hello, good morning, everyone. Come on in, type in freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. We're going to be talking about some breaking news that New York Times published in the wee hours of last night about the 43 countries that are on a draft list for the travel ban. So come on in, pull up a chair, let's get going together. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Friends, let's type in freedom now and also say where you're watching from. Everyone is joining today from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and certainly McBean Immigration TV. It's good to have you guys on today. I'm still, I need to wake up, right? This morning. Now, friends, the information obviously that I'm going to be sharing is my video op-ed, okay? My own opinion, my own thoughts about things. I'll provide some educational content here as well, and maybe a little bit of entertainment. We'll see. So if you have an immigration matter, speak one-on-one with an immigration lawyer, particularly about how this potential travel ban that is coming will impact you. Now, we've already talked about the fact that there's an executive order that President Trump signed in January about the potential consequences to certain countries who the U.S. believes has very strange or unclear security protocols and ways of vetting folks who are coming to the United States, and that they're going to do a 60-day review and come back and issue this ban. Now, we've also talked about the fact that this is some sort of color-coded system that the government is introducing. There's the red category of countries, and we're going to go through the color codes momentarily, but there's the red category, there's orange, there's yellow, and so these 43 countries on this draft list are color coded, okay? And certain restrictions are based on what category they're in. So this New York Times article, guys, and I'm going to pull it up. Come on in, type in freedom now. It's good to see some of the usual folks here this morning. Let's see. My setup is very different, by the way. This is not my office. This is my husband's office that I'm in. And so I'm trying to orient myself. Okay. So the New York Times has this draft list for new travel ban countries. Trump is proposing to target 43 countries. Okay. And if you'd like to see the list of countries according to the color code that New York Times has, jump over to YouTube on McBean Immigration TV, because that is where this is going to be pulled up. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this list of countries as we do this together. Now, according to the New York Times, a draft list of recommendations developed by diplomatic and security officials suggest a red list of 11 countries whose citizens would be flatly barred from entering the United States. They would be completely restricted from coming to the United States. The list of red states are Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. Draft list, okay? Now, the article also says that the State Department has been developing this list and working with various other agencies on this list, and that the orange list of countries, there are 10 countries that are on the orange list of travel would be restricted but not completely cut off. Red list, they're completely cut off. Orange list, they're restricted but not completely cut off. In those cases, affluent business travelers might be allowed to enter the United States, but not individuals traveling on an immigrant or tourist visa. So everyone else would be restricted on this orange list. This orange list would also include Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. Okay? Those are the 10 countries that are on the orange list of restricted travel and mandatory in-person interviews to receive a visa. And I'll go through this again before this session ends today. But again, if you're watching on social media, you could see this list. Maybe, I don't know, it's so small on my screen right now. You'll have to zoom in when you watch this. But you'll see this list of countries, or you could just read the New York Times article for yourself. The article also goes on to talk about the 60-day review period and the work that the different agencies were doing in order to compile this list, and that it is still very much a draft list. Now, Afghanistan was not part of the first Trump travel ban. They're on the ban now, the list now, because certainly the country fell to the Taliban when the U.S. withdrew its forces in 2021. So it's on this list. Now let's see, let's go down a little bit here. Some of the countries on the draft red and orange list were sanctioned by Mr. Trump during his first term travel bans, but many are new. Let's go down here. Let's see. Let's go into the last category, which is the yellow list. The yellow list is interesting because the yellow list includes 22 countries that are now given 60 days to clear up some deficiencies that our government has identified. And if they do not clear up these deficiencies, they will be moved to the orange list or maybe the red list. Okay, and let's talk about where are those countries. The countries that are on the yellow list are Angola. By the way, a lot of African countries. Okay, a lot of African countries, not surprisingly. Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, the Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominica, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, St. Kitts and Nevis, Caribbean country, St. Lucia, Sao Tome, guys, this is hard, Sao Tome, and a few others, including Zimbabwe, okay, including Zimbabwe. Now, you might be saying, why in the world is Antigua on this list? That's been a favorite vacation destination of mine. Why is there a security concern about Antigua or even St. Kitts? What is going on here? Well, apparently, part of their review includes looking at countries that offer very, very generous citizenship for sale as a way potentially of circumventing the travel ban list. Okay, and you'll hear about that in a little bit. During Trump's first term, courts blocked the government from enforcing the first two versions of the travel ban that he had in place or introduced, but the Supreme Court eventually permitted a rewritten ban, one that banned citizens from 8 nations, 6 of them predominantly Muslim countries. The Supreme Court allowed that particular ban to take effect. And Biden revoked all of the travel bans that Trump had in place. Thank you for that on TikTok. All right. If you're watching on TikTok, double tap the screen to encourage the algorithm to share this. Okay, so Guys, again, there's the red category in which countries are would face an entire complete suspension of entry into the United States. There's the orange list of countries in which the orange list of countries in which travel is restricted to folks who are business travelers. Individuals on the orange list would face mandatory in person visa interviews, and individuals on that list who are seeking an immigrant or a tourist visa would be restricted from traveling into the United States. It's unclear how, I think I skipped some things here that I wanted to share with you. It's unclear whether people with existing visas would be exempted from the ban or if their visas would be canceled. I think there's a problem on Instagram. It says here that I'm frozen. Instagram, if I'm still with you, let me know that I'm still with you, okay? It looks like I might be frozen on Instagram. Let me know if I'm still with you guys on Instagram. And apparently there's a problem there, so you may want to jump over to TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, okay? I think I've lost Instagram. All right. So, friends, as I was saying, if it's unclear whether they're going to cancel the visas of those who already have a visa, we don't know those details yet. Also, the article says that it's also unclear from what they're looking at, okay? From what they're looking at, it's also unclear whether the administration intends to exempt existing green card holders as well, okay? Those who had already been approved for lawful permanent residency. We don't know that yet, meaning that for individuals who have been to the U.S. Embassy for an interview for the immigrant visa for the green card, it's unclear whether those individuals who have already been approved for the green card are exempt from this or not. We're still waiting on the final version to come out. The New York Times does not have the final version yet. So all of those details are yet to be worked out. Instagram, we had a problem with the connection. My apologies. You can jump over to the other forums to know what's going on. Someone says, hold on a second, we're having problems here. Let's try to fix this. Okay, so my audio is loud and clear on YouTube according to my system, okay? Loud and clear, loud and clear. All right, so we're good with the audio, okay? We're great with the audio on YouTube. All right. So, guys, that's what's going on. 43 countries. A few weeks ago, I told you guys to get ready if you're outside of the United States because there's going to be a lot of changes that are coming policy-wise, things that are going to really be shocking. Okay. Let's get this off the screen. Okay. So, things are coming from the embassy side of things, the State Department side of things. They're revamping the Foreign Affairs Manual, which we've talked about before. They're creating a whole new system. They are intending to cripple, this is my op-ed, okay? They're intending to cripple the visa processing and restrict as many people from flowing into America as possible. There's things happening on the interior inside of the United States to limit immigration inside, even legal immigration inside of the US, as well as limit the flow of people coming into the country through these various travel bans, and as well as cutting staff at US embassies and consulates across the country, the world. So these are the ways that they're looking to frustrate and slow things down. If you have a visa and you need to travel to the United States, it's advisable that you travel before they finalize the ban, if you're the various bans, if you're in any of these countries. All right. Now, what questions do you have for me today? Let's see. Is the ban permanent? A travel ban is never permanent. Okay. It most likely the bans will be challenged in court. But I just want to mention that, as I've said earlier, that during Trump 1.0, the first two travel bans were struck down by the Supreme Court, but then the third submission was upheld. So they know how to write these bans now. Okay, they have the experience and they know what the courts are looking for, and so we're expecting them to do a better job with the bans this time. Okay, to have more of a legal rationale to support these bans, but they will still be challenged nonetheless, and they're never permanent. They're never permanent. Iranian student visa, how would that be affected? You know, look at the list. As I've mentioned, the list, Iran is on let's get the list back here in front of me, on the red list, which means all travel to the United States would be banned from Iran, including those who are seeking a student visa. What we don't know, again, is whether if you've already been approved for your visa and the ban goes into effect, whether those already approved will be exempted from the ban. We don't know that quite yet. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you. What about those with pending green cards inside of the United States? That's a different issue. That has nothing to do with the travel ban. Okay, today we're talking about the travel ban. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see. St. Lucia, St. Lucia, Rachel, St. Lucia is on the yellow list, and on the yellow list, it means that they have 60 days to work on some things and get back to the United States government about fixing some areas, including areas around how they vet and review visa applicants and some other security related issues. And if they're able to meet the standard that the government is put it in place, then they will be removed from the yellow list. But they will only have 60 days by which to do this. Let's see. Okay. So as you can see, there are different types of travel bans that they're developing. There's something else here that I wanted to share with you. Let's go down here. Okay, so for the countries on the yellow ban list, the 22 countries that are on the yellow list, some some of the issues that they'll need to work on over the next 60 days include failing to share with the United States information about incoming travelers, purportedly inadequate security practices for issuing passports, or the selling of citizenship to people from banned countries, which could serve as a loophole around the restrictions. Those are some of the reasons some of these countries are on this yellow list. Okay. And let me ban this person. Okay, let's keep going. Late coming in. Can you post the list again? I'll post the list, but you could also watch the replay. This live session is going to be published right after. Is Trinidad on the list? No, I did not see Trinidad on this list. Let's get it back up here. Trinidad is not on the list. Okay. I think, let's see, Instagram. Haiti is on the orange list, which means that only elite business, wealthy travelers will be able to travel to the United States. Most everyone else will not be able to. Is Nigeria on the list? No, Nigeria is not on the list. That was one of the first countries I looked for, as a matter of fact. Nigeria is not on the list. Nigeria was on, there was a travel ban against Nigeria during Trump 1.0. Nigeria is not on this list. The draft list, draft, which means someone leaked this information, obviously, to the New York Times. I did not see Nigeria on the list. Burkina Burkina Faso is on the yellow list. Jamaica is not on the list. What about existing green card holders from the orange list? It's unclear whether once the ban goes into effect, which I don't have a date yet, I don't know when they're going to finalize this. Once that happens, we'll see how they're going to treat people who have already been approved of the immigrant visa who have not yet traveled inside of the United States. For those of you who have an immigrant visa, okay, here's my opinion on the matter. If you have an immigrant visa that you've already gone through the legal process and you've interviewed at the U.S. Embassy or consulate and they've issued you that immigrant visa, you know that you have a little bit of time to think about coming to the United States and getting your affairs in order. Well, I actually think that in light of what's going on, you need to think about coming here sooner rather than later. Okay. Don't sit on it once you've already been approved for your immigrant visa, which is your green card. All right. You want to be able to come in right away before the list. Before all of this goes out. Is the list final? No, it is not. This is not the final list. This is a draft list. Uganda is not on the list. Let's see. I'm a green card holder. Can I travel and come back to the United States, or are green card holders banned as well? Green card holders are not banned. Green card holders have rights and privileges, including the right to travel and come back into the United States. So, but what is unclear here is how these travel bans will impact folks who are outside of the United States, haven't already been issued their immigrant visa to come to the United States. These are individuals who have not yet entered the United States and gotten their green card mailed to them by the government. It's unclear how those individuals, those foreigners, will be treated. But if you have a green card, you're here in the United States and you want to travel, this does not impact you as far as I could see quite yet, okay? Once the final written bans are published, then we'll have a lot more clarity on these things. Afghanistan is on the red list. Cameroon is on the list as well, but it's the yellow list. Haiti as well. Okay. Let's see. Antigua, yes, is on the list because, Antigua has these very generous citizenship opportunities. And the U.S. government is saying now that countries that are selling citizenship to just about anyone who could afford the citizenship, they consider that as a way of circumventing the system and getting around things. So I think that's the main reason why a country as wonderful as Antigua is on the list. Okay. Zimbabwe is on the list as well. Venezuela is on the red list, which means all travel will be banned. Honduras is not on the list. Algeria, Algeria is not on the list either. Thank God they alphabetized this for me. It makes it very easy to just reference. Again, to see the full list, you could go over to McBean Immigration TV and you'll see the full list, okay? So if you're joining now, we're talking about the fact that 43 countries are listed on a draft travel ban list that the New York Times published late last night after I went to sleep. And on this list, there are color-coded categories of countries that will either face a full, complete, all ban all travel to the United States will be suspended. And there are a number of countries like Afghanistan, Venezuela, North Korea, of course, Iran, Libya, Cuba, all right, that are on that red list. The orange lists are based on restricted travel to the United States. Visas will be sharply restricted, and only individuals so far that we are aware of who have business travel will be allowed to use their visa to enter into the United States. And it includes countries like Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, Haiti, which, is a surprise. Haiti is on the list, although the Miami Herald a couple of days ago talked about the fact that Miami and Cuba were on a potential list. I didn't want to come out with that content until I had more clarity and more authority. And so here we are today. And then the yellow list, these are countries that have security problems, and they will be given 60 days by which to clear up some of the concerns that the US government has. Otherwise, they will be placed on an orange or red list. And it includes countries like Antigua, Angola, Dominica, Gambia, a lot of African countries, Zimbabwe, Cameroon, Cambodia, and others. Okay. What about the diversity visa? They have not touched that quite yet. The diversity visa is still intact. However, if you won the diversity visa, the lottery, and you're from one of these travel ban countries that are facing restrictions, just know that you're most likely not going to be able to get the visa to come to the United States in time, because with the diversity visa, there's a very strict timeline to things. What about Somalia? Somalia is on the red list. Somalia is on the red list, a complete ban. What about students with the F1 visa from Pakistan on the orange list? We'll see how that's going to be handled, whether there's going to be any exception for students. New York Times only mentioned business travelers or wealthy people who travel for business to the United States. Guinea is on there, yes, Equatorial Guinea. Senegal is not on the list. Okay, Senegal is not on the list. Let's see. Will this affect people who are doing adjustment of status here in the United States? No, it will not. Do you have any idea whether the list will add more countries? I have no idea. Right now, we only know about 43 because that information has been leaked to reporters at the New York Times. Thank you. Is Nigeria on the list? No, Nigeria is not on any of the category on any of the lists that I see here in front of me. Again, I'm getting a lot of questions about green card holders. I'm a green card holder. Can I travel to one of these countries and come back? Again, green card holders can travel. However, it's unclear right now whether your travel to one of these destinations, travel ban countries, how that will be impacted. I'm not certain quite yet. We'll have to wait to see what the language says. I'm waiting for an interview in the immediate relative category. I'm in one of the red countries. My husband is a U.S. citizen. Can the ban affect me? Yes. If you're in a red and even orange country, then yes, you will, for red in particular, you will not be able to travel to the United States based on the travel ban. Thank you, Francis. Guyana and Trinidad are not on the list. Is Cameroon on the list? Yes, Cameroon is on the yellow list. So Cameroon has been will be given, if this list is what they're gonna do, enforce, will be given 60 days to clear up some of the concerns that this government has. And if they're able to do that, they will be moved off that yellow list entirely, and not face any restrictions. Under the first, guys, here's the other thing, okay? This is already what it is. And so you know me, I'm just going to tell it to you straight, whether you want to hear it or not. This is my video op-ed, and I'm free to speak. Guys, during the first Trump term, some of you might remember the fact that based on the COVID crisis that everyone was facing at the time, the U.S. government sharply restricted entry into the United States based on the COVID pandemic. And I've told you months ago that they were looking for a reason to restrict, to do something very similar to restrict entry into the United States. And a lot of focus has been on them wanting to restrict the flow of folks coming to the United States from the southern borders. However, I suspect that it's going to be a little broader than that, because during the first term, it was so broad that it impacted pretty much everyone in various family preference category and employment preference categories. Folks who were waiting around the globe, no one could get in, really. There were just a handful of individuals who were permitted into the United States. Travel was extremely restricted, not because of not because of one of these, right? The type of bans that we're discussing here. No, but because of a broader rationale that the government gave to restrict the flow of millions of people into the United States. And I suspect that they're working on doing something very similar. So now is the time to really try to push along your visa processing cases. Try to get yourself in line. If you're waiting to be documentarily qualified because you're waiting on your joint sponsor, your affidavit of support materials from your joint sponsor or your sponsor, and it's the delays on your side to finish up the visa center process, I'm encouraging you to do as much as you possibly can do to speed things up and get things in and become documentarily qualified. Again, if the delay is on your side, if you've been unreasonably delayed because you went to the U.S. Embassy and they've interviewed you and placed you in 221G administrative processing, and you're waiting and for quite a while, work with an attorney to see whether a mandamus, a complaint can be filed in court that would allow you to allow the embassy to prioritize your case and move you to that next step. Guys, you've got to become aggressive at this time, okay? You really need to become aggressive at this time. Freedom Now, aggressive. Trinidad is not on the list, okay? Liberia is on the yellow list. Yellow list. Liberia is on the yellow list, okay? Haiti is on the list. Someone is asking, can I petition for my father? He's in Haiti. Yes, absolutely. You can start the process, get things moving for your father. Um, or who knows, maybe by the time his case progress, Haiti would no longer be on this travel ban list. And I know that Haiti probably is a big surprise to many people. Like, why would they add Haiti, this extremely poor and challenging, this country that's facing so many challenges right now? Why would they put Haiti on the list? Ethiopia is on the list, right? Did I say Ethiopia earlier? Where did I see Ethiopia? Could be, hold on a second. Hold on. About Ethiopia. I do not see Ethiopia here. I do not see Ethiopia on the red list. Orange, no, and yellow, no. But I don't know why I was thinking Ethiopia would be on the list, but Ethiopia is not on the list. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off so that you guys can go back to your life, your Saturday, and I could do the same. If you would like to go deeper about your immigration case, you know how to reach us at McBean Law at 914-898-9488. Watch this video again, watch it on YouTube to see the full list. And guys, try to get your travel in order, your affairs in order to come to the United States sooner rather than later. I do not know when they're going to come out with this, but it's very, very soon from what I understand. Thanks so much for being with me today, and I will see you in the next one, which will be on Monday at 1 o'clock p.m. on YouTube for a live Q&A, and I will also touch on the issues related to the travel ban on Monday as well during our Q&A. Guys, have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.